What up? It's your boy P. Checking in with the cast, doing things. Today we talking about a police officer who got killed in Savannah, Georgia, and how the media is trying to make us feel sad about it, and how we don't want to feel sad about it. So, today, if y'all did not know, is motherfucking Police Officers Week, National Police Officers Week. Actually, this whole week from the 12th to the 18th. It's Police Officers Week. So I think this video came in a fitting time for Police Officers Week and all that type of behavior. Let me push this through the chat real quick. Throw this up. There we go. Yo, what up, love me dog? It's good to see you, man. Good to see you showing up. So, as this is Police Officers Week, we had a situation with an officer down in Savannah, Georgia. He was killed. He's a black guy, and I want to just do what I did on my first episode of Police Got Shot Dead, but what we need to think and feel about it. I'm going to do what I did on that one and lay out the particulars of what was going on with this situation and kind of put our mind in a space about things. So, let me get to the screen here. Run to the story. So, Savannah, Georgia. The officer killed Saturday night, a few days ago, in Savannah has been identified as Sergeant Kelvin Ansari, a 10-year veteran of the Savannah Police Department. Sergeant Ansari, Officer Douglas Thomas, and the suspect were involved in a shooting Saturday, May 11th, near the 2300 block of Bull Street, that's B-U-L-L Street in Savannah. I guess all y'all out there in Savannah, I'm sure y'all might know where that's at. Officer Thomas has been treated and released. The suspect, who has been identified as Edward Fuller III, was also taken to a local hospital. He died, actually. And a news release from the Georgia Bureau of Investigation said that officers responded to the area around 8:10 p.m. to follow up on a robbery call after a person claimed they were robbed, leaving the Boys to Men barbershop in Savannah on Bull Street. According to the police, Fuller, quote unquote, stole money and other items before striking the victim with a weapon, quote unquote. Officers began their investigation after they arrived on the scene. At the time, the suspect was thought to have left the area, but he was inside of a nearby vehicle. Sergeant Ansari and the second officer unknowingly walked near Fuller's vehicle, unaware that he was inside. So he was living in the vehicle, chilling inside. Police looking for him, but they did not know it. He was right in the car. According to the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, they call it the GBI, Fuller exited the vehicle and fired shots at both officers. Pretty damn slick. He then fled into the backyard of a nearby home. Other officers were able to locate Fuller, who exited an outdoor shed with a gun. According to the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, quote unquote, one officer fired his weapon, striking Fuller. Fuller's gun was found to have been stolen, yada, yada, yada. Then they talk about how, this fellow was a great man and he spent his life protecting the streets of Georgia and all of this. And he was a military guy and this, that, and whatever else, right? So, let's dig into Savannah, Georgia and look at their racist white supremacist history so we don't feel sad. That's the point of me doing these videos like this. First of all, the Savannah Police Department, I want y'all to know it's a predominantly black police force. I was watching a promotion and pinning ceremony of them this morning on YouTube, like a ceremony where they, give props to the officers, those that's finna, enter into the force, made it out the academy, that type of shit, those that's finna get promotions and shit like that. I was watching a video of this ceremony this morning, and y'all gotta know, all the recruits was black. Every last one of them. Every face in that motherfucking crowd was black. This is from last year. This is their most recent graduate group or whatever. Promoting ass group or whatever. And all of the names on the force. There's a lot of Shamikas, a lot of Demetrias, you know what I mean? Real shit. And actually, Officer Ansari, he was a part of this promotion class. This was in September of last year. So he just got promoted to his position as a sergeant, right? So let's kick the facts. The racial demographics of Savannah. That's going to be important for y'all to know a little later about his position or whatever, but peep me. So the racial demographics of Savannah, over 55% of the population is black, and just over 30%, 38% is white people. And then everything else is, you know, mixed up between everybody else, little small ass percentages, right? Now, first I looked up this officer's dirt, right? They say he has no disciplinary file, but we don't never know that shit unless we talk to the people in the area about a cop. I mean, these ones they say that don't got no record and shit, we don't know unless we talk to the people. But he got promoted to sergeant last year. He was in the Army for 21 years. So y'all already know on my channel what I feel about niggas in the military and coming back to the streets. I look at them funny as fuck if they come back and they ain't really bringing back shit to help people. If they come back just to gorilla chest beat like they the toughest niggas around, I don't like that shit. That make me mad type shit, right? They want a gorilla chest beat as if they help black people when they was over in some other country, but they only really fight for white people's rights, because them, the fights and shit that they go through over there, when they come back here, don't none of that shit translate to black life. None of the shit they say they fought for. That's my stance on this channel, and I'm sticking by it. You know what I mean? And you know, when they come over here, they come back with all these skills so forth, but they don't share that shit with niggas. We still getting our shit up out the dirt with our skill level, and we depend on the brothers that came back to really teach shit. It's how it really go on the street. You motherfucking military niggas. I'm like, all right, so y'all coming back like that on some shit like y'all ain't got nothing to show for it to the people? Okay, and I'm automatically like, yeah, you a bitch ass nigga. Going into the military, probably. Going into the military, you was probably a bitch ass nigga, right? I got stories like that too, about niggas that came back, you know what I mean, want to act like they tough, but it's like, nigga, you that bitch nigga though. Nigga, don't talk to me, nigga. Type of shit, right? I got stories. But okay. Then I looked at the police in Savannah, and oh Lord, God damn it, oh Lord. God damn it, oh Lord. Let me get to these motherfuckers, man. So, with these police, y'all might have saw this on Facebook about a week and a half ago. If y'all saw this story, there's a brother out there in Savannah named Zaid Jackson. He was on Facebook, Mark Ass Fed Book, all right? And Savannah police, right now, they're under investigation for beating this man, okay? His tail light was out, they say, quote unquote. And the Savannah Police Department said that they decided that, you know, when they beat him, that the police used proper force for arresting this guy and arresting him and all that. But then they also doubled the fuck back and said, well, you know, we didn't really beat him. He failed, right? And that's how he got injured. And it wasn't them using force on him, I guess is what they're trying to say, right? So the Savannah Police Union, or whatever, the Georgia Police Union, the people who come to the aid of the Savannah police, it's their union, came out saying, oh, the officers, they were appropriate and professional during Zaid Jackson's arrest. Let me pull up the pictures so y'all don't miss this shit. Hold up. Let me get to it. There goes our brother Zaid Jackson. Let me see. His mama has something to say too about the shit. Let me read that Facebook caption. I want y'all to get the words from his mama about that shit. She has something to say about that shit. Let me get to it right fast. I got it in a different screen than the one that y'all can look at. So let me pull it up. Okay, so if y'all can't read that, it's kind of small on the screen, but it says, on this past Thursday evening, last week, about a week ago, about a week and a half ago, on this past Thursday evening, my son, Zaid Jackson, was brutalized by two officers of the Savannah Police Department as a result of being stopped for, according to the police officers and she put it in parentheses. According to the police officers, a tail light being out. And then she says, why would a law-abiding citizen with no record or history of any violence, after being pulled over and handcuffed and arrested upon arrival at Chatham County Jail, Savannah Chatham is the name of the county. Like Savannah Chatham is the name. Like Savannah, when you hear people say Savannah or Chatham County, it's the same shit. Why would somebody come to the jail as she's saying he's law abiding, right? How would he be at the Chatham County Jail looking like this? The officer's report is that he fell. And then she put hashtag Rodney King, right? Hashtag CNN. So she tagging motherfuckers, right? So what the other part of the story is, the police say they asked him to exit the vehicle for whatever reason that they made up. But he was like, man, he refused and he rolled up his window. You know what I'm saying? Supposed to have some sort of tail light out. They asked him to step out the car. Okay. That could be for anything. They could make up and say anything. In some of the reports, they say, oh, they smell marijuana. They always smell marijuana. What else is new? They be high as hell. So cops be high as hell. So they be on dope. They ain't no telling what they got in their nose. But he refused, rolled his window up. Then the police officer opened his door, right? Like they do. They like to open the motherfucker door. And he was like, man, look, I'm not getting out the car. They kept pestering him to try to get him to get out the car. He's like, man, I'm not getting out the car. So then he just pulled the fuck off while the cops standing at the door like, man, fuck you, man. He pulled off and got away. Okay? And this was supposedly what happened a couple days before. So what the police out there in Savannah did with they punk asses, they went and got a warrant on this brother Zaid for obstruction and reckless driving and fleeing and attempting to elude and all of this shit. So what that means is basically they got a APB out on the motherfucker. Anytime they see the brother again, they gonna jump on him. And that's what they did. That's what happened when they seen him again. They pulled him over and it was like, now we finna jump on you. That's what happened. So they had the warrant. They made up the little warrant or whatever little fuck ass bullshit, made up shit, right? Then they jumped on him when they seen him again is what happened. And this was the result. But talking about that motherfucker fail. You understand? Hold on, let me get to this real. I want y'all to see this. Do this look like somebody who failed? Y'all see this shit? Like somebody who failed? Who you know that fall that hard and look like that when they hit? Motherfucker who? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we talking about that. That's the type of dirt we looking at. That's the type of dirt we dealing with in Savannah. That's Savannah police. Just last motherfucking week. And of course they're hiding the officers who did it, of course. And I'm going to assume that they black. Looking at their last graduation class, I'm assuming these motherfuckers is black. Straight the fuck up. So, understand, I want to talk about motherfucking black police officers right fast. Black officers, man, they do the most against black people when they put on their little uniform and badge. It's a means of them showing that they can be down with white supremacist brutality against black people. It's a long-held tradition. It got roots going all the way back to slavery. You understand? And even the convict leasing era, all that. Understand? And with Negroes, the shit is a motherfucking competition with black officers to prove themselves of being the go-to Negro of these white supremacist outfits like the police and the military, shit like that, right? It gives them a fucking confidence boost when they white superiors get happy at seeing some black cop, you know, drag in somebody black to the precinct all beat up and bloody like we just seen. You know what I mean? It's a coon treat, that approval, you understand? It's a coon treat to get a pat on the head for being brutal to black people when you're a black officer working for the race soldiers, right? Savannah has no history of dragging somebody white into their precinct looking like our brother Zay Jackson. I looked. I didn't see no history of that shit. You see? You see what these black police precincts be on? Majority black precincts, they are merely another black face on a damn plantation being watchmen over the other slaves. You understand? And they out to keep the niggers and nigresses in line. Just like during slavery, there was always that one designated slave. We've talked about on this channel, they got to ride around with the horse and the gun to keep the slaves from escaping. That's all a black officer is. As they work for America's race soldier fraternity. All right? Notice this. In my last Cop Got Killed episode about Mississippi, that cop that got blasted out there, McKeithen, we talked about Parchman Prison in Mississippi and the conditions of black people during unjust convict leasing prison time type shit. These were plantation-sized prisons, right? And on these plantation prisons, the shit was ran like a proving ground for the black watchmen that we talking about. You know what I mean? The black watchmen over the prisoners, right? It was like a proving ground for these motherfuckers. And they got a chance to gorilla chest beat for Massa, you know what I mean? And show Massa that they could be the most over the top with the inmates, right? At Parchman Prison in the early 1900s, 1901, 1902, 1903. And they called them trustees back in the day. They called them trustees, right? Trustees with a Y. All right? Not like trustee like with the two E's that we think of today, like, you know, somebody who has good behavior in the prison system or whatever, they get a chance to get little extras and get to do little extras and shit. That's a trustee. But it's trustee with a Y, right? Just because they were trustee with a gun is why they called them a trustee. They were trustee with a gun and good at shooting black people who were unjustly framed up on bogus charges and in these chain gangs working on these plantation prisons during the convict leasing era, right? I'm going to say all black police officers come from the lineage of the motherfucking trustee. You know how we say, you know, white police officers, they usually come in the name of that slave catcher lineage, right? Now we see Negroes who come from the trustee lineage. And they asses nowadays, they don't get to just stay on the plantation and police Negroes on the plantation or on a plantation prison. The difference is now, these Negroes get a fucking squad car and get to patrol and lapdog they white police chiefs on the beat and get to hide behind they white police union leaders. Understand? Let me get to the comments real quick. We've been kind of moving around a bit with these screens. I'm trying to adjust a few things. Who we looking at? Who in the fucking chat? Let's see who we talking to. Who in the tomorrow? Cole Ref, what up, yo? Lovely Darkness say he must have fallen directly on his face. Yo, this motherfucker, you seen he cut up all down his body and shit. You understand? That looked fucked up. Paraphernalia Palace 2 say the only good KKK op is the one that ain't breathing no more. We heard of that. We've heard people say that in spaces and places. Okay. But you see what I'm saying? You know, the police, that's the game they on. The black police in the game, that's what they on. And they get the protection of the police unions and all of that shit. Most of these police unions, as a matter of fact, most of them got white presidents. I looked. I couldn't find not one police union that had somebody black running this shit. Because a black police union leader, that was a motherfucker that could bring some justice if a motherfucker wasn't no coon or some shit. And there's been plenty of cases of these police unions showing all kind of racist, white supremacist tendencies, all kind of shit. The history on that is long. But black niggas become police and know that this is the history of these motherfuckers. And know that these is the motherfuckers, type of people that's gonna come defending them and coming defending certain police if shit get out of hand with some race soldier and shit, right? You black motherfucking police, y'all know all of this shit is going on. Y'all know this is the hierarchy of shit going on. Yet y'all sign y'all dumbasses up anyway. That's some whole ass nigga shit. So you being a police officer in black, if your police union ain't pro-black and some shit like that, we already know that your ass is a compromised nigga. You know what I mean? Straight the fuck up. You down to be a subordinate to the whims of white supremacist society and the narratives that them and theirs gonna kick whenever some shit happen, wherever y'all do dirt, whenever cops do dirt, you already know who's gonna be running to the aid of y'all. But understand, you got a motherfucker like Muhammad Noor, right? What happened to Muhammad Noor? The white police union ain't come to help him. The hierarchy that niggas depend on when they police didn't come to this motherfucking aid. You understand? They said, nigga, go your ass to jail. You understand? His fellow black officers there, they didn't ride for his ass. You see what I'm saying? They said, oh, well, nigga, you got caught up. You in jail. We ain't finna speak for you. You understand? I brought up Muhammad Noor, but goddamn it, you know, the same shit happened with a few other faces out in Minnesota. Goddamn, I did the Thurman Blevins story. Y'all go back and watch that story on Thurman Blevins where they shot that man for having a bottle in his hand, holding a bottle and talking about it was a gun. None of the police rose up. None of the black officers had shit to say. The police union was behind it saying, yeah, it was cool. The police union. These are the motherfuckers the black motherfucking cops think they can hide behind. This is who they feel protected by at some point. But that protection don't never translate to black cops, which I don't understand why you niggas want to be cops. Dumbass niggas. But okay, that's y'all word. All right. But back to Savannah. You know what I'm saying? Let me fix my tattoo covering up or shit, right? But I'm saying, like, back to Savannah. Just last year, there was another issue. Let me pull this up. They had another case. A brother named Ricky Boyd. Anybody out there in Savannah, y'all might know this brother, Ricky Boyd. Young man shot by the police just walking out of his home. And in the story, they was like, oh, he had a knife. Or they made up and said he had a knife, right? That was their first story, that he had a knife, right? So they shot him when he stepped out the house. That's it. Then they doubled back and was like, oh, well, he had a BB gun. This is what they doing right in front of our faces. They changing the story right in front of us like they didn't just say the first story that they said. This is what they doing, right? Said he had a BB gun, which they took a picture of the BB gun on the floor, on the ground, that was like almost 40 feet away. 43 feet away is what they said from where his body dropped, right? So I'm like, all right. Who you know gets shot and they holding the gun and the gun end up 43 feet away from where they got shot at. I don't care what type of bullet you get hit with. You ain't got that kind of strength to throw a motherfucking gun, a BB gun, 43 feet. Let me give y'all an idea what 43 feet look like, goddammit. 43 feet, okay. Y'all know, like, if y'all got a Walmart where y'all at, everybody got a Walmart around. It's a pretty good standard layout of Walmart. Think about the last little checkout line in Walmart. The last little place where you can check out before you can walk to an exit. That's about 43 feet. From that last little checkout to the exit. And maybe a little bit less than that. It's about 43 feet. You understand? Who you know gets shot and throw a gun all the way from the last checkout line all the way to the motherfucking exit, all the way out the exit. Who you know? Where did that shit happen at? Where do you know that shit to occur at? So these motherfucking cops is planting evidence on fucking crime scenes out there in Savannah. They killing black men. And the interesting thing about our brother Ricky, man, the interesting thing about our brother, man, is that he wanted to be a police officer, goddammit. He wanted to be a police and he wanted to be a Marine. You understand? So, think about that shit. The fuck you know about that? The police did not care that he wanted to be a police officer. They did not care. Oh, let me I got the chat down. I like to keep the chat up just to, glance over. You know what I'm saying? The police did not care that he wanted to be a motherfucking police officer. That did not move them no way. They didn't care he wanted to be a Marine and fight for his country and serve. They did not give a good goddamn. So, is that. They like, hey, motherfucker, you ain't no police today, nigga, and we don't care. You should have made to be a police, but too bad we killed you before you could live long enough to be a police, nigga. Oh, man. You understand? That's what's going on. So, more dirt. I mean, the dirt just kept pouring in on Savannah. I was like, look, man, I could chop up a few things, but goddamn, these motherfuckers is on all kind of shit and whatnot. In 2016, they had a white officer that they been hiding since he did this. He used a stun gun on a black man, and the police misidentified him while executing a warrant. Said that he was some guy that had a warrant, but he didn't have no warrant, and they just stunned the guy. Remind me of the story that I just saw this morning on the Phil Advise channel. Shout out to Phil Advise, where a brother out in H-Town, cops just ran up on him and was like, yo, we got a warrant for you. We think we got a warrant for you, but we don't know your name, and we don't know the name on the warrant. They just ran up on him, falsely trying to execute a warrant. Shit get thick when motherfucking cops just want to run up on you for nothing and say, oh yeah, you did something. I've had that shit happen to me. So it's like, yeah, all right. This is the world we in. This is racist, white supremacist behavior going on, all right? They had another stun gun case, 2015, with a brother named Matthew Ajibade. Let me pull him up. Hope I said his name right. Matthew Ajibade. Where the brother Matthew at? We got a picture of him up here somewhere. In the clear. Tell you what, let me go to it. Let me pull this picture of our brother Matthew. There you go. All right, so let's see if it's pulled up here. Check the mode and all of this shit. I really can't see on this screen, but I'll check it out. I don't want to stop the screen, no bullshit like that. I want the stream to just do what it do as I browse through these pictures. But our brother Matthew, he's mentally ill, right? And he was in a jail cell. They tied his ass to a fucking chair, the police, and stunned him like 4 different times. And it killed him. They denied him medical treatment and it killed him. Try to see if a picture go and pull up. I flipped it off and flipped it on. Let's see what don't happen with this. Will allow me to change it. But I'm saying, I'm trying to get the picture. The picture ain't pulling up. I ain't finna worry about it. But these police in Savannah, this is all Savannah dirt work right here. They're torturing black people and torturing the black community. And this officer who was killed, Kelvin Ansari, he became a sergeant in 2018, like I said. That's the same year that Ricky Boyd was killed, right? But I don't remember seeing no freedom fighting from Kelvin Ansari about this brother Ricky Boyd. Ricky Boyd, this situation happened like early in the year, like January, February-ish. So by the time he became a sergeant, Kelvin Ansari, we ain't see no freedom fighting from him on this case. His family's still going through this case now. We ain't see him pulling no weight. You know what I'm saying? We ain't see him pushing no line. We ain't see him being vocal to the media. To his superiors, right? Niggas don't make it up in the ranks in the police force by doing right. I'll tell you that. So I'm thinking that his ass is just down with the get down, or however the fuck it come at him out there with the police. Plus he was a military nigga, so I doubly don't trust his life On my channel, yo, your boy P don't trust their life if they in the military or they police. And hey, what? Yeah, I won't worry about pulling up a picture. Let me get to the comments because I see his faces in that mug. Okay. Ain't nothing changed in the comments. Word. So, know that something else about the Savannah Police Department. If you go to the Savannah Police Department website, they all giddy about the role of the Savannah Police in the fucking Civil War, right? That type shit, right? They bragging on that. The Savannah Police were on the side of the Confederacy so hard during the Civil War that they actually took up arms against the Union soldiers. It's not just, they wasn't just police living their police life. They were drilling as an infantry type shit. And I found it interesting that they would post that on the police website. You know what I mean? As something to be proud of. They was, all on the site, they like, the Yankees, the Union soldiers, what they mean when they say Yankees, the Yankees were worse than criminals. That's how the police was saying that they viewed the Union soldiers, right? They sent out that white supremacist dog whistle of anybody trying to free black people is lower than a criminal in society. And they bragging about that kind of thought lineage on the police website, okay? So, to the people saying he black and all this shit, I don't care. He worked for the slave patrolling, and slave patrolling is traitorism. Do we disagree? Yo, put the letter B in the chat or in the comments whenever the comments pull up if you think slave patrolling is not traitorism. Put the letter B in the comments if you think that slave patrolling is not traitorism if you black. You know what I'm saying? Crying for a dead black cop is like crying for Django, goddammit. Crying for Steven from Django, motherfucker. That motherfucker is Steven from Django, dog. You can't cry for Steven from Django, motherfucker. If you black, you don't got a heart or a mind to cry for that motherfucker Steven. Straight up. So all that shit, hold up. If you black, and you a cop, and you an informant, and you in the military, and you're not spending that knowledge back from the military type shit, and you're not spending your every waking moment training black people like these other groups be doing, like white people do all day. They spend their days and nights training on how to kill black people. That's what they spend their time doing. Here go your ass right here. There you go. That's who you are. You understand? That's who you are. And you are off code like a motherfucker. I don't care that you black. There's this police officer that came on Phil Evans, so I'm giving a shout out to Phil Evans again. A police officer named, I think her name's Cheryl Dorsey. You might have seen her, older chick. And Phil was like, yo, when you was a cop or whatever, I guess she's retired. She write books and shit. And he was like, yo, when you was a cop, when you saw cops do dirt, when you saw cops commit crimes, what did you do? She jumped up like, well, with cops, it's not a crime, it's misconduct. And said it so proud, it's misconduct, right? Like, yeah, bitch, you know what I mean? You're already trained in their dictionary, you're using their verbiage to paint their narratives. They get pulled up and put out in the media type shit. Like, all right, when it's time to railroad people, you know the language and the verbiage to use, especially black people. When it's time to railroad us, right? I don't care about nobody else. But we hear that shit from black police officers. You stupid hoe. All you motherfuckers. We hear that shit. You understand? So we got to look at these black cops as the trained lapdogs of the race soldiers and of the race soldier fraternity. So we can't care about them. That's my point. Now to the cops that's mad and to the cops that's crying, hold on, let me get up some crying cop shit. Where the cops crying? I couldn't find no cop crying pic, I don't think. Yeah, just because, he black, so, they're not going to be crying in the media for him. We'll pull up his memorial picture. For you cops crying, You know, y'all shouldn't be mad or disappointed. I thought it was us versus them. What happened to us versus them? All you blue liners out there. Y'all talking all this us versus them. Okay, well, some motherfuckers gonna treat it like y'all been falsely hyping it up to be. You see? Oh, we're so under attack. It's us versus them. We're so attacked as police officers. I hate that police do that. You know, the stats from last year, 106 cops got killed last year. Now, juxtapose that to 992 citizens that got killed by the police the same year. So where is this rash of us against them that y'all hit the streets hollering about? You understand? What that is that's a racist, white supremacist rallying cry. That's a battle chant. Us against them. You hear me? That's used to get their fraternity hyped up and psyched up to go hit the streets and go do evil to people. So all these few cops, very few cops getting killed, and y'all are under attack. Y'all are under attack. Okay. And to his kids, to the kids of Kelvin Ansari, to his baby mama, to his wife, or whoever, his brothers, his sister, everybody, look. Y'all see this video, y'all get mad at me or whatever, and y'all subscribe to my channel, unsubscribe. I tell people unsubscribe because you know what? I want quality, not people just over here just to be hearing what they want to hear, first of all. But don't get mad at me. Don't get mad at me because the war that black people is in is bigger than your fucking anger. And your daddy, your husband, your brother, he chose the side of the enemy of y'all. He chose y'all's enemy to be on their side. The enemy of his family, the enemy of his wife, the enemy of his son, the enemy of his daughter, the enemy of his people, to be on their side. He chose them. We see that shit every day with these motherfuckers. So double that with the fact that he spent his life serving the enemy of himself in the military, all that shit. That's what he was judged on out here. Is what I think it is. And he probably ain't give back enough. He ain't put out enough energy opposite to the shit that he was on with the military and the police combined. You understand? You gotta know how energy play in this life. I understand, you know, he gotta eat, y'all gotta eat, all that shit. But the way shit go is you gotta learn how not to eat in certain kind of ways. You know what I mean? You gotta learn your way out of certain ways of eating in this life. Goddamn, I used to slang and take all kind of penitentiary chances and shit. My nigga. And I told you I was gonna keep my street shit off the channel. I ain't playing. I mean that. But just follow me. I had to learn my way out of that way of eating. That shit is very stressful, very risky, and all that shit. Now I'm a regular broke nigga. But I got a beautiful mind, goddammit, and I protected my mind throughout all this shit to what extent I could, you know what I mean? And I protected my man essence, my alpha man essence and shit like that, to the extent that, hey, I don't get certain opportunities. I'm not readily hireable on your typical white ram plantations, you understand? I'm dealing with that. And like I say this to people, you know, I talk like this for real on the street. And it shut down the whole room. It cleared out the whole room. So I'm having to deal with that kind of blowback in life. But at least I can look at myself in the mirror and know I ain't no whole ass nigga that hold out for a check. You understand? I'd rather do that. Rather starve and rather have to slang than to be on the side of something that's against my people. It should seem like common sense, but as we see, it ain't in 2019. And to the ancestors, look, the ancestors, they ain't gonna hate me. they're going to be like, yes, black people finally being smart. Now black folk can start being rewarded with positive things. I've said this before. Our problem as black people energetically is that we haven't been responding to the energy put out to us that's been negative in mass, right? So what does that signal to the ancestors, the Orishas, and everything we be calling on and praying and hollering to? What does that signal to them? Is that, oh, even though y'all the dominant beings on the earth, these supreme beings, y'all are bullshitting in y'all's position on the earth and in the universe and not showing and proving your true fucking capabilities of intelligence. All right? It's intelligent to respond adversely to being preyed upon. And as a consequence gradient that must be administered universally in light of that, in light of us ignoring that, right? I got a saying that I created when I was about, 26, 27, that, the universe don't care whether you know something or not. It's going to dish out consequences accordingly. So I want to refine that. The universe don't care if you know something or acknowledge something. It dishes out consequences accordingly and consistently anyway, regardless. So it's kind of like saying, life give you the test first, and then they give you the lesson. That's what we're seeing here with how our energy is being played on the earth. You understand? Let me get to the Chizat, since I know that's over there. There we go. Let me check out the chat, man. I see y'all over here, man. Let me get to it in my YouTube screen. That's the only place I can really check at. Here we go. Yeah, Prepnay Palace 2 says we need more spoofs that sat by the door. Real life. Yeah. Sure do. And say, let me do this real quick too while I'm over here on this Skrizine, making things flizzip and bizounce. How about that? Oh, matter of fact, let me do them like this so they don't. There we go. That's how we do things. Say, lovely darkness, if you're in the chat or any of my mods, feel free to grab that and, put it in a notepad somewhere or whatever. Feel free to grab that and post that at your leisure anytime. Keep everybody in alignment with what we're doing here. You understand? Check out that Teespring that should be jumping. Check out that way2slay.com for all your hair and nail accessory needs, type of behavior. Don't forget that. So the moral of this video is, I don't care that he black. This Kelvin Ansari brother. He worked for the enemy. And my channel is going to be full of warriors. I don't give a fuck what's going on around us. I told you I'm going to be introducing a new chamber to this channel. These cops getting killed in these racist white supremacist ass operations known as the police fraternities. These videos are like primers to what sort of energy I'm going to be bringing and what that energy going to feel like when I flip things a little bit and introduce a few new things. I'm still keeping the same shit going, still keeping the animations going, all that shit still going to be jumping. But just know, y'all fuck with me on this, you understand? Keep checking in with your boy on this channel, because every day that we keep living, we need to grow as a people. And I need everything I put out to y'all to reflect that. Okay? And the black experience, it just ain't some stagnant shit. It ain't just us sitting up watching ourselves be tortured every day. Like, nah, motherfucker, it's groups of us that's woke for real, that's or waking up for real or whatever, and that are growing for real daily. You understand? And I need my channel to be a place where y'all can come and say, yeah, his channel reflects that. You understand? Yeah, that nigga kept it on 10. He keep it on 10. He ain't waste his time. He ain't waste his platform, his narrative space, doing a bunch of videos about black folk getting beat up. He spoke on balancing the energy of us getting beat up. Right? That's what I do. He ain't waste his time and platform and narrative space doing black ain't shit TV. black ain't shit, and we need to stop being ain't shit. Right? Like I ain't waste that. I'll go in on the people who served up black ain't shit TV for us to consume in the first motherfucking place and knock their heads off. That's what I'm doing. I'm not using my platform and time and narrative space for selling some black self-loathing and shit. All right. I'm loathing the people who prey on us in any way. And nigga P came to get down to responding to the fuckery. And I'm telling y'all, what I'm finna bring next, that shit finna be wild. Something really fresh, really new. From the talking niggas on YouTube, you know what I mean, your Jason Blacks, your Professor Black Truths, your Harveys, your Tariqs, all that shit. I put myself in the spirit of them brothers. And I'm gonna need y'all viewership. I'm gonna need y'all to come through and view the shit. Check the shit the fuck out. They say I got viewers all over the world. I check my little, my little reach. They give you like a little map and shit and show where people is checking you out. I got viewers all over the world, obviously. I've seen my shit pop up in Thailand and shit, like in the UK, like, what? I mean, somebody fucking with me in Thailand, you know, real ass shit. You know what I mean? So that shit crazy, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna need to dig into some of y'all's knowledge as my viewers. I'm gonna need to dig into some of y'all's lessons and shit like that as I grow this channel. That's why I want y'all to fuck with me on this shit. That's why I'm getting the 800 number. I mean, shit finna get real. But anyway, let me not forget the Chizat one last time just to see what's happening. Okay, I see Miss Lovey Darkness has something to say. Let me get to it. Can I get a wrench for that section, fam? What you mean? You want to be a mob, bro? All right, let me do this, man. Shit's done, Paraphernalia Palace. Type something in, Paraphernalia Palace. Type anything in, bro. If you there. Type anything in just to double check and see that it put you on. Because I don't like to waste time, bro. You want to be a mod, man. I just made you a mod. There you go. There you go. There you go. I mean, Lovely Darkness say, finally, tired of those channels for real. You already know, man. What the fuck, man? Fuck all that stupid ass shit. That's some old running in place ass shit. That shit, that's a lane for niggas to try to make it, but I ain't playing that shit. That shit is fucking cheesy. I ain't playing that shit. We got to do other things, man. We ain't playing that type of shit. We ain't playing that shit. We got to show how dynamic we are as a people. All that running in place shit, I ain't fucking with it. I ain't fucking with it. That shit don't get me psyched up. Fuck all that shit. I ain't trying to, you know what I mean? I ain't having it. Nah, I ain't having it. But anyway, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to hit that notification bell, so you know when a nigga dropping and all of this shit. Don't forget to check out my Teespring. Hold up, let me get to it. That shit. What the fuck that shit be? You know what I mean? Oh, hold up. It cut off the top of the... Okay, that's all good. I know I can do something else with it. I can make it look a little better. But fuck it. That shit, we're going to leave it right there. You know what I mean? That's how it came in. That's how the fuck the shit came in. I ain't tripping. And yeah. Don't forget to fuck with all that shit that I just brought to y'all, man. Let me get it, y'all.